Good morning and welcome to another Wingman workout where we raise our positivity and start bringing in that energy and that positive vibration, that success and that joy that we want in our life. And it's a favorite week of mine as we're coming into Thanksgiving, of course, and I'm actually feeling a whole lot better. So I thank everyone who sent me well wishes and put me in their thoughts and prayers, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Many of my practices in this past week have been how to overcome challenges, because so often those challenges are the things that throw us off. And when we get thrown off, we get the momentum gains and we just get into a negative head frame. And before we know it, we're living there. And I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again because it's so important to keep these practices going. So last night I was on YouTube a little bit and I ended up seeing something from my past which always brings me a smile. And it was all about Maxwell Smart, Get Smart. And I used to love that TV show and I would laugh. And when I woke up this morning, I had a smile on my face just from thinking about it. And as I've been getting back into my morning routine, I said, maybe I should meditate. And I really couldn't get into a great meditation, and I started thinking. I shut off all the music and the other words, the guided meditations I was listening to, and decided to just do something on my own. And what I ended up doing, I just kept saying to myself, and loving it. And of course, I was saying it in a quieter way and in different ways, but it almost became a little mantra for me, which I just allowed to accept that feeling and loving it. You know, back in the day, when Maxwell Smart was the best show on TV, Get Smart was the best show on TV and winning Emmy Awards, what would happen is Max would always find himself in an extremely challenging situation, surrounded by the enemy, and all he would ever say is, I'm loving it. Well, it got me realizing, and thinking about it today, it got me really realizing how beautifully Max was able to change his vibration. He didn't let the negative situation that he was currently in, he didn't let his negative reality take over his focus. He focused on the things he loved and loving a good challenge. So I'd like you to join me today, and you don't have to think of anything, just keep saying to yourself, I'm loving it. I can tell you for me, when I say it, it brings me a big smile and I just start laughing. And hopefully it'll do the same for you. Give it a shot. Join me and loving it. You don't even have to use that voice. And loving it. 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 Thank you for joining me. That's been about 1 minute. I'm loving you for joining me in that because I know the synchronicity helps so much. As always, you can join me on Facebook at Be Your Own Wingman, on YouTube at Be Your Own Wingman, or on Twitter at Wingman Michael. Have a loving it kind of day. Your Wingman Michael signing off. I'll see you again tomorrow.